Good morning and welcome to day 29 Inside Couples Conflict. I'm Dr. Liz Jenkins with drlizcoaching.com. And hey, thank you for showing up. So today we're going to talk a little bit about reframing instead of blaming in the fight. And what does that mean? Well, it is so easy, at least I find it easy for myself, that when my feelings are hurt or I feel misunderstood or I'm upset, angry, it's so easy to get into that blaming part, blaming myself for having done something, said something, didn't do something wrong, blaming my partner, my spouse, my hubby for how he showed up or how he didn't show up. And I'm wondering if at sometimes in the midst of the fight or in the aftermath of the fight, when the adrenaline's down and you're kind of sorting through things, if you really put a lot of pressure and negativity and blame yourself or blame them and then wonder, why are we here? Are we meant for each other? What did we do wrong? Okay. um, we tend to be hard on ourselves and harder or as hard on those that we love and we depend on or feel vulnerable to. So it makes sense that when we come together and we aren't seeing eye to eye, or we feel like our needs aren't being addressed, or we don't feel like we're being heard or respected, it's very easy for us to then shift right on over into there's something wrong. There's something wrong with us, the state of union, this relationship. And so I really want you to see if we can step away from that blaming it for a moment, and reframe that. We're showing up as a couple, two individuals with different personalities, temperaments, wishes, beliefs, needs, two people that came preloaded. Remember, preloaded from our childhood experiences, from our early years, our early relationships, past relationships, and we bring them together with life. And maybe it goes from something that's kind of simple and easy to getting more and more complicated with more moving parts. And our needs, maybe our beliefs or wants or desires start to shift. And they may shift at a different rate than your partner or your spouse. And so let's say we came together in the early years and we said, absolutely, we want to, I don't know, we want to put 100% into us, and we want to have a condo that we own, no frills, but we were going to put down some roots, and then we're just going to travel. So no pets, no goldfish type of thing. We're going to power our careers and power our traveling. And maybe that goes well for a year or two. And then one of you decide that, oh, we're getting on in years, the biological clock's ticking or the whatever clock is ticking, and I want to start settling down. So we want to start, then maybe we feel like we want to start diverting the funds from travel and play over to something that makes sense, maybe an investment, maybe in the stock market, maybe purchasing a house, starting to talk about having pets or kids or critters, those types of things. Well, now we've got two people that have some shifting needs. We are in a state of transition, emotionally, personally, relationship wise. And so that's when the fights kind of get hot at times, or that's when it feels like we don't see eye to eye. We used to. What happened to us? It means that we are, and our relationship is just growing and just evolving. And when we are having these reoccurring or unresolvable discussions or arguments, we do need to go back to the basics, guys. We do need to really tease out and find out what we're fighting about. Because maybe this last fight, if we use the scenario of that, a couple that used to want to travel and now she's wanting to settle down because she's starting to go into her 30s and is wanting to have kids, and he's still having a blast, not thinking about the biological clock in the same way that she is. He's thinking about it, and he's thinking, I'm 33, 35, 38, whatever it might be. I don't want to waste another minute not seeing another part of the country or the world. And time is short. And so he's got a biological time clock going too, but his is based in a different direction. She might be saying, hey, look, these little eggs here aren't getting any younger, and we need to do something about it. We need to make a decision, and we were going to have children, and I'd like to start now. And so it's important as you go through your relationship and we go through the different stages and ages, and that we meet up with each other and talk about, hey, where are we? Where are your goals? Where would you like to be seen? When we start doing this, we do timestamps, we start dreaming forward. Okay? That helps. It really does help ease future and current conflicts, because then we can sit back and say, oh, so you're not just a fun sucker that doesn't want to travel anymore and worry about all these COVIDs and diseases or whatever. Like, you're really wanting to settle down. And start a family. All right. Now I'm getting worried because I don't know if I'm going to show up well as a father or whatever it might be, mother kind of thing. So as you start to have these conflicts, these fights, these discussions, instead of blaming each other, the relationship, made the wrong decisions, let's reframe them. Let's go back and say, this is obviously, we care enough to be having this discussion, this fight. Let's put all of those strategies in place that Dr. Liz has been showing us. Let's do the timeouts. Let's write down what we thought we were fighting about. Let's identify what our fighting styles are and show up differently. Let's help our partner, support our partner in their fighting styles. But let's get down below and say, what were we fighting about? And where are we together as a couple and individual on this issue or this goal or this direction? Because when you get better clarity and when you stay curious and find out more about from your partner why it's so important one way or other, and when you're able to articulate why it's so important, right, there's a lot of give that happens, a lot of give, and successful couples hear and receive each other's influence. Okay. So maybe it'd be like, well, I still want to do this big travel thing, but I understand you want to start a family. What if we put this money aside? Or what if we do one quick travel? In the meantime, let's get everybody checked out and make sure we're ready to start having kids. And so as soon as we, get back from this trip, we'll start the process. Or maybe it's like, I didn't realize it was so important to you. Yeah, because I see the time clock ticking for you and for me. So I'm willing to wait on this trip. Let's get pregnant. All right. So there's a lot of influence, and successful couples know that, and they use that, and they tap into it each other. So you know what you get to do today. Homework. I want you to think back. Where are you guys in this process, in this transition? Yourself personally, your health, your career, family, money, finances, kids leaving, kids that should be leaving, in-laws and parents that weren't supposed to be showing up in your life right now, whatever it might be. Let's start just putting some pins in these, and let's start having some personal discussions and then relationship discussions about where each of you feel you are on these. And are any of these things sort of in a sideways, hidden current way showing up in your past conflicts and fights, or showing up in your thoughts, your snarky thoughts, those ones that we don't really talk about, but we need to. Okay. So have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow for day 30. Bye-bye.